From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Hello, Jobfather Nation. Welcome here on this Valentine's Day to the Jobfather, and we are part of NTX Radio, which is a radio and podcast collective proudly serving North Texas and can be heard globally on TuneIn Radio. You can also go to the NTX Radio app on Android, Apple CarPlay, or just ask Alexa to play NTX Radio. Check out our lineup and more at ntxradio.com. We thank our value partners for helping us amplify the voices of North Texas. Well, we are excited to be here. It is a wonderful Friday. And with that being said, we've got an exciting show lined up today. I will let Foster share a little more about that. First, let's bow our head for a quick word of prayer. Father God, we just thank you for this day, this opportunity to serve the job seeker and job networker community. We just pray for all individuals going through either a job transition or looking to find another type of opportunity, whether they're employed or not. We just ask that you would open the most amazing doors of opportunity and allow them to build fruit during this time. Lord, help us to honor you in how we handle this time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, Foster, I am sure we've got a few announcements before we get into the nooks and crannies, the nuts and bolts of the show. So any updates and any, before we get going, any good dad jokes?
Oh, yeah, I got a good dad joke, and I want to tell everybody to go over to search for the number 4, the letter U, inc.com, and check out jobs that are being posted. Now, guys, those are the ones that are we call network jobs. We know the people that are looking to hire for those opportunities. Most of those people, not all of them, but most of those people are out of the network themselves. So they'd like to hire people out of the network to fill their opportunities. We are a big old network, and it just continues to just give and give and give. And I love it. I'm excited about 2025. I want to say happy Valentine's Day to Dana and to Penny and to all of our other female listeners. Guys, happy Valentine's Day to you too, but it ain't in the same respect. So thanks for the prayer, Dana. And hey, Dana, do you have any priority openings at your company that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I don't have any exact priority openings at this moment. We are getting very close to filling the couple things that we do have open at the corporate level. However, cool. Our company has office locations all throughout the United States. So if you go to beaconoral specialists.com, that's Beacon Oral Specialists with an S at the end. It's plural.com. We have practice locations all throughout the United States, and we have different roles like office managers, front office, surgical assistants. Some of them we're willing to train if you'd like to build a new career. Insurance roles, as well as we do actually have here at the corporate office a refund coordinator role for someone that has extensive experience with revenue cycle management, specifically in the healthcare space. Has to be healthcare space. It's just too complex to train someone if they don't already have it. So you can go to beaconoralspecialist.com, click on careers, and check out those openings.
The Beacon, that's right. So I see that we have Bindu. We have Jim Williams with us this morning. We've got Bindu with us. Hello. Rex is listening in. I think Rex might be in his car running around out there.
Hi, Rex.
And Richard Dixon's always listens to us when he's in his car. So good morning, Richard. And let's see. I know I'm going to mess his name up. Kavuya is with us as well. Kavuya Shali. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Now, here's what's going on today, guys. We're going to have a really, really neat discussion here. We're going to talk about working with what we call agencies, or, a lot of times the agencies are like, we're not an agency, we're an RPO. And an RPO is a recruitment process outsourcer. A lot of times, guys, a lot of the companies that we deal with do not have their own recruiters. So they will hire that, they will outsource that, they will hire that out. So that's where that RPO comes from, recruitment process outsourcing. We are blessed to have Penni Sprague with us this morning. That pretty face you see right there. And Penni has been with us in the network for years. I think Penni and I have known each other since the Mesozoic era. And so and so she, guys, is an HR a specialist. Penny is your HR specialist, but you know what? Penny's had some time in talent acquisition as well, so she knows our world, and she's going to be helping me and Dana talk about this kind of thing. And let me. Did I do that? No, I've got to throw you guys a dad joke this morning. Jim, you gotta grade me on my dad joke this morning. Okay, so ladies, what did the chef give his wife for Valentine's? Dana's typing away over there. She probably didn't even hear my
I don't know.
question.
I really don't know.
Okay, guys, let me go again. What did the chef, SCHEF, give his wife for Valentine's Day? And the answer is a hug and a quiche.
Oh, that's cute.
Uh-huh. Come on now,
It's
this is
cute.
dad joke. This is a dad joke, and I'm a dad. I'm qualified.
Yeah.
But I never said that all of them were excellent. Some of them are good. Some of them make you think. But some of them make you roll your eyes in your head. So either one of those expressions will do fine for me. So Jim, Jim, you got to tell me how I did. So guys, let's get into it, okay?
Yeah,
So
let's do.
there are a number of things that we have to consider when I think I know that a lot of people probably will raise their hand when I say that Jim gave me a 5 on that one.
Yeah.
So
doesn't surprise me.
yeah, I know that was a good 5.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bendu. And so sometimes you guys, when you're looking for a job, you will get a call from an agency that's working with the company, or they are feigning as though they're working for the company. We're going to talk about that too. Um, and you might get a call from 3, maybe even 4 different recruiters about the same type of job. There are some companies out there that will farm out some of their openings because their recruiters either don't have time or too overloaded to do it themselves. And there are companies, there are RPO companies, there are agencies that work with those companies. There's a couple of those companies that I used to be the gatekeeper for. So I used to be the one that set the rules for all of this activity for the whole companies. And so when you get guys, so many people that call you about that opportunity, what we need to do, and I say need to do as job seekers, is vet them out. Now, what are you talking about, Foster? Well, find out, guys, which one of those companies, which you want to work with, the one that has the absolute best what am I trying to say? Relationship. That's me and Dana's word.
Yeah.
That has a relationship. Now, I'll tell you something. If a company that has a really, really good relationship and been working with the company that they're representing for years and years, you probably won't even have to ask them probing questions about it. They will tell you up front, hey, this is the hiring manager. I've been working with them for so many years. We got so many people that work over there. But you know what? One good question to ask them is, tell me about the process in which you went through with that company to be a vendor with that company. Because you're telling me you're representing a company, then what you're insinuating is that you have a contract to recruit for that company.
That's a good point.
And a lot of the people that call guys do not. Now, if they can't answer the questions very crisply, you probably don't want to work with that particular company. You may just want to sit around and wait for somebody else to call you, or go to the website yourself and see if you can find the opportunity on the company website. So if there is not a relationship that exists, guys, you're wasting your time. Penny, what do you think about that scenario?
Well, real quick, I do want to say, just to clarify for our listeners, so the first half of the show, our focus is on working and partnering with third parties, right? Vendors. In other words, staffing agencies. An organization typically has their own recruitment arm most of the time. Some don't.
Yeah,
and
some don't.
often they partner with staffing agencies. Right. But in order to work with an agency effectively, they have to have a contract in place.
Got to.
so that both the company and the agency is protected. So the foster is coming in saying, okay, as a job seeker, you want to make sure before a company represents you that they truly have the right to represent you, because a company would rather find you organically than pay a third party anywhere from a 25 to 50% markup on your first year's annual salary. And that's just the reality of it. So if you're a salaried individual and the third party gets you placed, then you'll get your pay no matter what. But what they do is they charge the company that hires you 25 to 50% of your annual salary that first year.
Yeah, that's right.
And then with hourly, it's like a 50% to 75% markup on your hourly rate. So they're paying you whatever you require hourly, plus another 50 to 75% markup. So before we jump into Penni answering that question, we wanted to give you the insight behind the scenes, because it's not bad to use an agency, but if you're highly specialized, yes, use an agency. If you're not highly specialized, the agency can help put you on projects to make a little money in the meantime, but don't stop looking yourself. Now, Penni, I will step back. I just wanted to make sure the audience knew what our topic was.
Good.
And I want you to jump in now and answer that question.
Actually, you bring up a good point, because I did go on contract, and I was actually with an agency who was subcontracting to Manpower at another company. So it was really a three-step. Yes, it was a three-step. At that time, actually, it was my previous manager who I would be working with eventually. So again, you bring that up as well to vet them out. The other thing is you're going to get 5 or 6 calls from different companies saying, I'm representing a company out in Greenville. Well, Greenville's an hour away. Usually they're calling from small states or something like that and don't realize Texas is so big. We get calls like that. And, if they're not going to be honest with you and let you know who maybe the client would be, because if you give your resume to one place and then you don't know who the client is, and then you give your resume to another one and they tell you the client, well, then you're just going to be dropped.
You will.
They don't want to argue.
Not at all.
The two companies don't want to argue.
No, and I will tell you, can I give an example of that, Penni? Because I had this as to prove your point. So we had a project going on with our billing team where I needed to bring in like 20 people to help with different roles within the revenue cycle / healthcare billing team. And so we had because we needed so many in such a short period of time, we had 3 different companies sending us candidates. And I kept a spreadsheet. And as every candidate was submitted, I checked my spreadsheet to make sure they weren't already on there. And then I always keep the submittals. I have a folder that I drag them into. And if I saw anything that was a duplicate, I would immediately look to see which email was time-stamped the earliest, and that company reserved the right.
That's right.
Well, one of these companies tried to come back and say, well, I understand this other company submitted this candidate first, but this candidate's telling us that they only want to work with us and that they don't know of any other company.
That's why we have a right to represent.
No, they didn't have that. But what I said was, no, they just wanted to argue with me. And I simply said, listen, I'm not getting into a bidding war, and I will not cheat any company out. The first to submit gets the candidate, period.
Right.
I'm not arguing about it. And I was very firm. And then I said, and as a matter of fact, the candidate does know us because I personally spoke to them already and we passed on this candidate. And then, I don't think we heard back from that company again. So it
Yeah,
was
probably
really
not.
frustrating because as a client, I'm using you because I don't physically have the time to do this. Don't waste my time with an argument. If I tell you I have its timestamp and I give you the exact date and time, and I'm willing to send you a screenshot of the top part of the timestamp of the submittal, don't argue. So as a candidate, understand that you could have multiple companies calling on you for something. And you need to be paying attention as a candidate to who you're talking to. Because another thing is we have so many candidates, they can't remember who they talk to. And you know how much of a turnoff that is to a company if you can't even remember who's representing you. So I just wanted to throw that in there. That is a little bit of a hard spanking, I guess you could say, as pastors will say to their congregation.
But it's important that we understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That when you are in the job search and you're talking to companies, write it down. If you can't even manage your own job search, how do you expect a company to trust you as an employee?
I'll share with you guys with something that I did at a couple of huge monstrosity companies I work for.
Oh, yeah.
I was responsible for this process. So, number one, you will not do business with the company if you do not have a contract. And that's just the bottom line. Now, a lot of these companies, guys, will ask you to sign a right to represent form, or you should ask them in vetting them out. Ask them, do you guys use a right to represent form for that company? Now, when you do that, guys, ask the company, the agency that you're working with, to be very specific. You don't want that company to give, you don't want to give them the right to represent you to the entire company, because I guarantee you they don't have a relationship with all the departments in the company. But this position that you are representing, Mr. Agency Company, I'm wanting to know if you don't want to tell them your thoughts in the back of your head, but you want to make sure that they are legitimate in what they're doing. Now, a lot of these companies, and I'm not picking on the state of New Jersey, guys, but a lot.
Are you sure?
Go to New York.
A lot of companies, guys, foreign based companies that do not have a relationship, they do what we call a phishing with a PH. And they see that a company has a need for a specific position. And they say, hey, I'm going to go out there and find this Penni lady. It looks like she's a good fit for this position. I'm going to talk to her and I'm going to submit her to the company. If the company gets excited about Penni and wants to hire Penni, they have to do business with us, and we can get on the vendors list. We can sign a contract, but it doesn't necessarily work that way with Foster. We need to, prior to all of this happening, we need to have established a relationship, one that you have had a signed contract with that company. That was my job to do, was to orchestrate and organize all of this for those big companies I'm talking about. I'm purposely not mentioning the companies because some of those companies are calling you. You guys are getting calls about some of those companies today, and I don't work there no more. So,
well,
guys,
and I will say, Foster, I definitely appreciate you bringing that up. I have not seen for a while now a right to represent form, but that's probably because
everybody doesn't use them.
There's two different types of companies. Well, and some do and some don't. And I see pros and cons. Like, I really appreciate what you shared, Foster, because there are pros and cons to a right to represent.
If they're going to represent you, job seekers, if they're going to represent you, ask them if they do have that right to represent form. And then when they produce that, make sure it is for that particular role and not the whole company. Because what Dana was saying earlier can get you kicked out, because we companies are not interested in going into a sword fight about the candidate.
Exactly.
And I was going to say too, there's two different types of companies. We have so there is Foster, help me remember this. The one where we don't pay a fee up front,
contingency,
and then there's the type where you do. Yeah, contingent versus so most companies, thank you. So contingent probably won't have you do that as often, because a lot of the entry level roles, they don't, they're trying to move faster. They're going to lose the business. But the retained search firms, that, they're given some money up front and then the rest of it at the end, and they're going to make sure they don't lose you. So I guarantee you, if you're working with a retained firm, which is usually like director level or higher type roles, or roles that are very specialized, like that require a doctorate or an MD, that type of thing, they will probably always do a right to
companies
represent.
that me and Dana work for,
because
like
they're
Korn Ferry, there's Egon Zehnder, there's
exactly.
Russell Reynolds. It goes on and on and on, guys.
Absolutely, because Korn Ferry has both sides of the
we
house.
do.
They have contingent and they have the other one. Gosh dang, what was
Retained.
that again? Foster?
Retained and
Retained.
contingent.
I don't know why I
That
can
gets
never
away from
even
me,
at work
those
I
two
can never
sometimes.
remember. I know. Well, you're awesome, Foster. You're the expert. You've been doing
Oh
this
no, I've been
forever,
called
and
an
Penny has
expert now.
too.
You
Penny's
guys hear that?
amazing. but it's just good. The reason we want to share all this with you, and I want to thank Foster, because he really sat down and thought about what would be good to share with our listeners. The more you can understand about what's going on the other side of the table, the more impact you can have on your job search, and know how to approach working with third parties that are presenting. We call them third party or agency because they don't work directly for the company, but they're helping the company to fill their role. They're a third party sending people in.
Right.
And the more you can understand, the better. So Foster's comment in the very beginning about confirming that there is a contract in place, I cannot say enough how important that is, because I've seen many circumstances where the company does try to submit someone to get the contract, and then they find you, they like you, they want to hire you, but you can't figure out what's taking so long. Well, in the background, maybe the company wasn't willing to spend the money, like the decision makers aren't willing to spend the money, and they went ahead and moved forward interviewing you before they even get the contract signed. And some companies don't have in their budget to pay a 25 to 50% markup on your
Penny,
salary.
I liked where you were going earlier. I don't mean to cut you off, Dana, but I do mean to cut you off, because Penny, being in HR, has got a first hand. Well, we all have a first hand in all of this stuff, but I like where you were going in your comment a while ago, Penny. So continue, if you will.
Well, I have an agency that I was working with frequently on different projects and different clients. And they called me and said, there's an opening with this very large company. And, we're working with Manpower. So Manpower was with the client, not the agency I was going through. Well, luck have it. Thank you, Lord. Luck have it that the Manpower client, the actual manager that I was going to be working for, was somebody I had worked for in the past. So it worked out very well. It's just who you know. But again, it was a great opportunity. I would have never had a chance with a large company. So there are those maybe third party type of scenario. So, but really the best thing too is also go and Google the company, because, make sure that they're credible and, they have an existence, and that they do the recruiting, they do whatever the case may be. That's the biggest thing for any job seeker, is for any company. Go Google them before you hit send for your application, things like that. There's just too much going on right now. I know I got off the subject of staffing agencies, but the point being is just make sure you Google whoever you're going to be applying to or talking to.
That's right. And guys, I want to regress back to my comment about New Jersey earlier. The reason I brought New Jersey up, there's a number of companies that seem to have offices in New Jersey. Some do and some really don't. And it's okay. You could be anywhere in the globe and have a relationship. Given the technology and everything that we have now, you may have lived in I've got a friend that lived in the United States, and now he's in the UK, and he's still doing business with companies that he built a relationship with when he was here in the United States. He's now in the UK. So he is Hey, Ben, I know you're listening. And he's just as viable as anybody else. But guys, if the person that's calling you is not a local to that job person, then you make sure, get job seekers, y'all ask very pertinent questions to make sure that there is a relationship there. Because if there is not a relationship there, whoa, they're probably fishing. Or probably
Yeah.
98% of the time, 99% of the time, they're fishing.
Got to be
You got to be
careful.
careful, because if I
Very
have
good
a
point.
relationship with Penny and Penny's the hiring manager, I'm going to be the one that Penny's going to listen to until she fires me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's true.
Till
she fires you,
I'm gonna
Foster.
fire you.
But guys, you're going to work through the people that actually have the relationship, and that doesn't even need explaining. I mean, that's common sense now.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
so
And don't be afraid to work with third party.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
just know some of the logistics so that you can protect
Yeah.
yourself, right? Penny, what are your thoughts on your experience working with third party and some of the things that are positive that stood out to you?
Now comes the music, Penny. Let's start this up
Boy,
on the
we'll
second half.
handle this on the other side. How about that?
Absolutely. We'll see you guys after the commercial. We're going to continue this.
Okay.
Live long and prosper.
Are we off the air?
No.
Oh,
Attention all
We're
business
not.
owners and creative minds.
We're gonna
Do
be
you
on
need a
it until we
unique
get
and
to talking
personalized
now.
touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Hey, Jobfather.
Yeah.
Hey, Jobfather Nation. I wanted to follow up with you and let you know that we are excited for the second part of the show. And as always, we're very honored and happy to be a part of NTX Radio, which is a podcast collective proudly serving all of North Texas, but can be heard globally on TuneIn Radio. And we do actually have listeners even on this show globally. Now, to listen, you just go to the NTX Radio app and you can listen to it on Android, Apple CarPlay, or just ask Alexa to play NTX Radio. Check out our lineup at more at ntxradio.com. And we want to thank Tiffany Hurd for being part of NTX Radio. And we want to thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of North Texas. Well, we had an incredible first half. I feel like this is such incredibly valuable information for the job seeker and job transitioner community. And we had left off the first half asking Penni some of her thoughts and opinions on the positive side of things that she's experienced working with agency, and maybe anything on the other side of it too. I'm not going to use the word negative because that's not what I'm getting at, but some positive things and some challenging things that could help the job seeker. What are your thoughts on that,
I got another dad joke before Penni gets started.
Oh, come on, I gotta tell my
let's go
joke.
for it.
Yes, and then we're going to go to Penni because Penni's got a wonderful
story.
A story, yeah. So, guys, knock knock.
Ooh, a story.
Who's
there?
Peas.
Peas?
Peas who?
Peas be my Valentine.
I love it.
Sweet. How sweet.
That's a cute one, especially for Valentine's Day. Yay!
Exactly.
Okay. Now, guys, Dana is absolutely right. This show, the first part of the show, and most shows, guys, we want you guys to understand some of the things that you need to understand when you're in a job search, so you won't run across situations that will waste your time, things that will get you tossed out of a interview process, or what am I trying to think of being considered. We don't want you to get tossed out of consideration. We want you to use this network to help you be considered, because we recruiters do not have time to go through all of the interviews or all of the resumes that are submitted to jobs that we post sometimes. Because now with the technology that we've got, woo, you might get 200, 250 resumes that are submitted for that position. So anyway, I want to go back and say Penni is with us. Penni Sprague, guys, Sprague. You can find her on LinkedIn. You definitely, companies, you guys might want to talk to Penni. Penni is, I'll let her handle this, but Penni is slightly available for new opportunities. Let's talk about that too, and the joke, Penni.
So it's not really a joke. It's a story. Talking about staffing agencies, I did work for a contingent agency when I first started in this. And I was actually recruiting for IT people. And some of the agencies that are listening, if they remember doing cold calling, that's not easy doing cold calling. So I happened to be cold calling, and I hung up from a call, and the owner just happened to walk by. And I had this strange look on my face, and he pulled me into his office. He goes, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Well, I was looking for an IT person." And he said, "What happened?" And I said, "Well, I talked to an HR person." And he said, "What did you do?" And I said, "I hung up on them."
Wow.
And he said, "Well, why didn't you ask them for a job if they're looking for a job?" So that's what happened in my contingent story. But it was pretty funny. It was, I was like, you know what? You're right. So I have worked for contingent. I have worked for retained. And then, I'm on the other side of it. And as Dana had said, all of these staffing agencies, believe me, there's very good ones that are out there.
Yes.
And it's developing that relationship with them. Like I said, I've developed relationships over the years with them. But if I get an unsolicited resume, even from a candidate, sometimes, I have to take a look at them. I can tell you one time when I was recruiting for a very large organization, and I actually had to go out to their Facebook and their Instagram and their Twitter account because it was a very high level position. It wasn't retained. It was actually for a company. So, be careful what you post. But then working with agencies, I can tell you, Dana, I did the same thing you did. I don't want to fight. I don't want to have two agencies, going back and forth. And again, unfortunately, the candidate's in the middle. So, the candidate is the one that, has that issue. Biggest thing is that I can't stress enough what Dana said. Do a spreadsheet. Start a spreadsheet of, the date, maybe the time, if you have to do it for the workforce commissions, wherever you live. Keep that information handy. Because you have to prove to some of the workforce agencies that you have to, you're doing what you need to do.
That's right.
In order to get your workers' comp. So from an HR standpoint, I have seen candidates send in resumes, and sometimes the staffing agencies will change your resume. That's another thing.
Then there's that.
Yeah, exactly. So I have seen resumes where people are sending that they had their 2021, then they had their 2023, and then they go to 2024, but then they're going back to 2022. Really make sure you have your resume, whether it's on Indeed or it's ZipRecruiter or it's any of the job boards, that you have your resume up to date. Even if you're not looking, again, I can say that because, some hiring managers, they look at your resume just hits. And I would say to the manager, why did you do that? Well, they have their resumes out of order. Well, yeah, but there is some job boards that's not going to let you change them. So that's another thing too, is to look into that. So really from an HR standpoint, with staffing agencies, is we do sign a contract with them based on if a candidate lasts for 90 days. As that manager I had talked about earlier, the one that asked me about the HR person, as that manager said, the agency's not going to be paid until after 90 days. So
most of ours are
90,
30
some
days.
of them are 120.
Right. And so
all of our contracts say 30 days.
And
And I don't
sometimes
think that's fair, actually. But
every time.
I know, but that's what they're
Yeah, they
pushing
are
now.
pushing.
They're all wanting a 30-day payment. They start, and within 30 days, we have to pay.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's the way it's changed, but the way before was, keep looking
It used
just
to be
in case if
60 to
something
90.
doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
So not the candidate, but at the client, I mean. So that's really from an HR standpoint is, we've evolutionized of how to work with agencies. A lot of different clients now have portals for the agencies where they can upload the resumes into their own applicant tracking, the client's applicant tracking system. So again, that helps too. So, from an HR standpoint, I went to the other side. And by the way, I want to say hello to somebody. I hope he's still on. Rex Stout was my manager in the past.
I love Rex.
And so and Rex, when I worked for him, he said, you're going to do benefits. I had no idea about benefits. None whatsoever. He says, you're going to learn it. And now I do benefits, and he is just the greatest. He'll send texts every once in a while, and like a Christmas text or something like that.
I talked to him last night and told him that you were going to be on the show, so he got all excited.
Well, thank you. But it's managers like that. And again, I worked for 3 managers in the past, so I have had managers call me, particularly sometimes if they're working on specific projects. And compliance is my love. I love HR compliance. People in HR go, no.
Oh yeah, no, it's fascinating,
It is
right?
fascinating.
Yeah.
It really
Penny is that
is.
person in HR that scares us, and we don't. No, not HR. Not.
But
Oh.
the doing compliance and things like that. But I couldn't have had that start without Rex in respect to benefits administration, compliance with federal governments. I have had one audit from a federal government that did not go through.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason was because I was on maternity leave and the contractor who had my laptop wiped out everything, all of the information.
Oh
Oh,
no.
back in the beginning days of Charlie, huh?
No, shortly after Charlie, but
Charlie after Charlie.
uh, well, yeah, probably a month or two after Charlie. You're right.
Oh,
But that person completely wiped out all information. And unfortunately, the department was fined almost $1 million.
oh my God.
Recently I helped some other companies with something called the 1095s. Everybody should be receiving a 1095, whether you're on the health markets or you're with your company for medical insurance.
Mm-hmm.
1095s in the past, they used to charge, and they still do if you based on your tax rating that they give you for the health markets. But if the employer's wrong with the 1095s, I've saved companies $77,000 of fines, interest, and penalties from the IRS.
Oh wow.
So, it's those types of things that
Yeah, we
I
got to
just
be
enjoy
compliant to
doing.
that. That's right. That's
Those are
right.
That's awesome.
it really is great to say. I've done implementations with different benefits vendors, just went through with one from one 401k vendor to the other 401k. Now, this is people's money that you're dealing with, and no problem, no issues coming over. We had, a couple things, but we had to work with our HRIS vendor. But recently we had non-discrimination testing, and I actually did that, and we passed. So, yeah,
That's
a girl.
great.
But I enjoy doing that. And when I was working full time, I did work part time for companies on projects. And an example of one of them was a company that had 4,700 employees, and they were changing from one system to another system. And they had 12 pages of benefits that need to be manually uploaded to the new system. It was 38 people on the project. And I was I was helping as kind of a project manager. It was done.
That's major.
It was done before the deadline, but there was a lot of hard work from everybody. I can't, take the credit for that, but it's those things that I enjoy. So thanks, Rex, for getting me involved in benefits administration.
You
But
know, Rex is the reason I do what I do right now. I wouldn't be the job father if it wasn't for Rex. Rex is really the job father. And so, Penny, I want to
Rex
say
is a
this to the
blessing to
companies,
the world.
corporations that are listening to us right now. You guys might want to call Penny. Her name is Penni Sprague, Sprague. Find her on LinkedIn. You guys might want to have a conversation with Penny about some of these issues that you may be running into in your HR departments. Penny probably will have the answer for you, and you may be able to employ Penny to take care of it for you. I'm just saying. So as long as Penny's not frowning at me for saying that, I'm doing my job.
That's okay, Rex, but Penny with an I.
With an I. That's right.
No IE, no Y, Penny with the I.
No Y.
Yep.
But it's really, I have been an HR business partner too for other companies, and I do enjoy supporting employees, but really, I enjoy supporting an employer or company to keep them out of risk. So that's really what I do. And, the agencies, we have hiring managers that get calls all the time from agencies. They're out there.
I do. Yeah, I do. Just about every day. Yep.
They're going to try whatever they can. And to be honest, when I first started in recruiting, I was only getting a draw. I had no base salary, none, and everything was commission,
which was very common, right?
That was common.
Back then, that was very common.
It was very common.
Some companies still do that.
No, most of them now have a base, at least a base for recruiters and
there's a few left that
account managers.
Penni and I've been around for a while. We're not going to tell y'all how long, but we've been around for a little while.
Well, we've known each other over 2 centuries. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, decades.
You're so funny.
Ooh, a century.
You're looking good.
Ooh, we're looking good. If Penni and I have known each other for 2 centuries, you guys definitely need to talk to us.
Yeah, we got a lot of stories to tell everybody.
Sharon Adams. Hello, Sharon's with us. Cool. I always like when Sharon's with us. Guys, Sharon is one of the principals at the Thomas Edwards Group. So you guys look up Sharon, and you know Sharon. Yeah.
I do.
Absolutely.
I do.
Guys, some of us have been around Dallas-Fort Worth for a while, and not just Dallas-Fort Worth. This happens everywhere. With me, it's all over the country. But guys, we are a family, and we stick together, and we do things, and we share, and we endorse each other. I'm endorsing Sharon Adams right now openly. So you guys check out Thomas Edwards Group. Go to thomasedwards.com and find Sharon Adams on LinkedIn and connect with her. Foster said connect with you, Sharon.
I know the
Sorry,
owner.
Penni, I cut you off.
No, I know the owner. Great agency, been around for a long time. Again, it's those tenured agencies to work with. Something I do want to let some folks know on LinkedIn, really look up the company that you're going to be applying to.
Yes.
This hasn't happened yet, but this happened to me in the past that somebody tried to hack into my LinkedIn account.
Oh.
So be careful.
Really?
Yes. Be careful when
Shame on you,
I didn't know that was going on.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. So be careful and report them to LinkedIn.
Yes.
If they don't exist, report them. And you can go to their help center and you can contact them not only, online, but you can also contact them through the customer service and put in, they're not going to give you immediate response with customer service, but yeah, don't get your account hacked in by an agency or individuals that are posting positions that some of them, they had spelling errors, they had names that never even came up.
Wow.
The recruiters weren't even existent. So, unfortunately, there's a lot going on out there.
Yeah, there is a lot going on, guys.
And I'm just, working as a contractor in the past and, looking at maybe a possible part-time contract. It's very hard to find, remote part-time. I would prefer remote. Because if I drive anywhere around DFW area, my car will probably fall apart. It's that old. It's be very careful when you're on Indeed as well. ZipRecruiter haven't had any issues, but again, those job boards, they're going to different locations are going to try to hack you in.
Yeah. I love the technology that we have in the job boards that Penni's talking about, but I want to say this very loudly. I want you guys to hear me. We have a giant network. Yeah, there you go, Penni. We have a giant network that is 26 years old. It's called the Career Search Network around Dallas-Fort Worth. Well, now we are in probably 20 major cities in the United States.
Right.
And we are a gigantic network. So wherever you are, if you lose your job, there's help. There's probably
Mhm.
help somewhere right close to
There
you for you
is.
to find. Now,
There is.
companies, this is for you. Guys, call myself. I am the creator of the Career Search Network. Now, uh, if you are looking for a person, it is not like it was in the old times. All those people that are without a job got laid off because they didn't do their job well. Not like that anymore, guys. You know how we are about money in the United States. And a lot of us that are listening right now got cut because of somebody made a decision in a meeting, in one of the leadership meetings, and numbers of us have been cut off. I have lost my job more than once, and it wasn't because I wasn't
Mhm.
participating. I wasn't hitting my numbers or whatever they call that stuff, making my metrics or whatever it was. I was doing my job, and I still got cut off. So,
Wow.
guys, and not anymore companies is it like that. You have it your fingertips, at your fingertips, guys. Thousands, and I do mean thousands,
Mhm.
especially here in Dallas Fort Worth, thousands of active job seekers that are exemplary. Now, everybody that I bring on this show, I vet them out. I only bring the best on the show. I'm sorry.
That's
That's just
right.
the way that it is. And guys, if you see someone on this show and you have a need, a conversation never hurt anybody. So it's the same thing
Mm-mm.
with Penny. Penny's a compliance HR person that we all try to run away from. No, I'm kidding. But guys, the solutions that many of you guys run into in your companies in HR, Penny has the answer to. There are many people in this network. Kelly Wells, we've had on the show. Kelly Wells is one of those people. And, you know, that is my job, is to show the best people that are out there that companies can get their hands on. So companies, call me if you need to hire somebody, because I guarantee you, I know somebody. I probably already know 10 or 12 people that already work at your company. I'm getting close to the screen when I say that. I'm going to shake my head.
Now,
Jeez,
Foster, isn't there
Foster.
two groups, one in South Lake and one in Frisco?
Well, those are the big ones. Those are the biggest ones. But we still have, when we first started this, at one point, we had 80 job seeker networking groups in Dallas Fort Worth, guys.
Remember, yes.
Now we still have probably 40. Guys, go
Mhm.
to careerdfw.org or go to careerusa.org.
Mhm.
You
Sure.
will be able to identify and find a lot of these n- job seeker networking groups that I'm talking about. I am the creator of about 40 of them over the years. Well, I've been at this longer than I want to tell y'all. But
You're so funny,
but Dana
Foster.
mentions that a lot of times you guys might want to post your jobs or call me to have your jobs posted on Search for You.
Yeah.
And they're way
Foster has a
affordable.
great network.
Way affordable.
It is. It's affordable and it's a great
Yes.
network. And keep in mind that Foster, volunteers his time to help people all over the Metroplex. So if you have a chance, go to the website and donate to help keep the Job Seekers Network
That's
moving
right. It's
forward.
built
This is
for
the
you.
largest Job Seekers Network in the
Yeah,
world.
it probably
And
is.
Foster
Mhm.
has put so much sweat, tears, and personal time
Mhm.
into this to help everybody. So, Foster, I just want to thank you personally for all that you did to be obedient to the Lord and follow through on this. And so I'm just asking everybody to consider supporting the Job Health Network and go to searchforyou.org,
Yep.
right?
If you're listening to this right now, it is search the number 4, the letter U, INC.com. Now, if you're listening to this show
Yes,
right now, this show is one of the components of the network that adds value to your job search. Let you guys know what you need to know.
absolutely.
To meet people like Penny Sprague, Dana Gingerich, me, others, Gerard Roble. Hey, I didn't say hello to Gerard. Gerard's on with us. And Rex Sal, and it goes on and on, guys. These are the best people in the industry,
Mhm.
and we're all family, and we all stick together, and we can get you what you need. But you guys got to realize that you're spending too much money. A lot of places that you're going and doing it when it's right
So
under your
true.
nose. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
shut up
gosh.
about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've got
No, but it's so true, Foster. You make such a good point. Is, these companies are charging through the nose and ears, and they don't personally know a lot of these candidates, where Foster truly knows most of these candidates.
Dana knows.
I mean, look how amazing Penni is. Like, we're blessed to have Penni on the show today.
Yes, our network goes back, let's just say a few years, y'all. With me and Penni, it goes back before her son was born.
Oh, yeah, we're blessed to have you on the show, Penni, and we're so excited that you're here. And I understand that you're open to, something part-time, which is very attractive to a lot of organizations, because some organizations need, different types of HR support on a contract basis to come in, or as a part-time person, regular, to help.
It's a perfect
so keep
time.
Penni in mind, y'all.
Penni, thank you.
Thank you.
The music is here. We'll see you guys.
Thank you, Penni.
Friday after
Have a good day, y'all.
See you guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.